Hello, I am Kev Hopayan, a family doctor in Suffolk, England, and professor at the Nicosia Medical School, Cyprus. In this presentation, I will describe the science behind the recommendations on prevention and self-care during the Covid-19 pandemic. This is not meant to be medical advice on treating yourself. The information is current at the end of April 2020. Information is constantly changing, but the underlying science will, I hope, give you a better understanding so you can make sensible decisions. I shall be answering the following questions. Why is social distancing important? Should we wear masks in public? Why is washing hands important? Is it safe to take ibuprofen or anti-inflammatories? What can I take for the symptoms? What treatments are there? Why is social distancing important? The virus is spread in two ways, directly from person to person through droplets, or indirectly. The most common is direct spread. Let us look at each in turn. When we speak or breathe out, invisible droplets of moisture leave our lungs and mouths. The droplets can contain the virus. When we sneeze or cough, the droplets are forced out further and at great speed. A cough can force droplets to reach up to 3 meters or 9 feet. So the further away we stay from each other, the less chance we have of passing on or taking in the virus. Here is a picture demonstrating a spray of droplets from a cough. The biggest droplets that carry most virus fall to the ground close by. The fewer, smaller droplets travel even further. Now, distancing has to be balanced with what is practical. Authorities have suggested distances between individuals that vary from country to country. These vary between 1 to 2 meters or 3 to 6 feet. Social distancing is just one of many measures to prevent person-to-person spread. The others vary from country to country and include banning large gatherings or keeping people in their homes, so-called total lockdown. Taken together, these measures will slow down the spread of the virus, reducing your chance and mine of getting infected and improving the chances of bringing the epidemic under control. Returning to coughs and sneezes, current advice is to catch the cough or sneeze immediately into the inside of your elbow. This will reduce the distance sprayed. The alternative is to catch the cough or sneeze in a tissue, dispose of the tissue immediately, then wash your hands. Let us look now at indirect spread. We can become infected if we get virus on our hands and then transfer that to our nose and mouth. This is why frequent hand washing is recommended. Virus can get on our hands from touching the hands of an infected person. We can also pick up the virus by touching surfaces contaminated by an infected person. Virus sprayed onto surfaces can survive there for some time. How long depends on the type of surface. Traces of virus can still be found on plastic or steel, the longest possibly up to 3 days. However, over that period, the number of virus bodies does get less and less. So, washing surfaces that are frequently touched, such as door handles, will reduce the risk of spread. What about washing things we buy? Currently, there is no recommendation for this. Let's see why. Most infections, as we have said, are from person to person. Getting contaminated from shopping items is much less likely than person-to-person spread, or from failing to wash hands. Without firm recommendations, the decision you make must balance being cautious with being practical. Cooking at usual temperatures will kill the virus. Of course, we should wash vegetables that we plan to eat raw, which is good advice at any time, not just during the pandemic. And always wash our hands properly before preparing foods. and before eating. Again, good advice at any time. Some infected people pass the virus in their stools or feces. Normal hygiene, namely washing our hands after going to the toilet, is essential for that reason. Should we wear masks in public? Opinion is divided. The number of virus bodies that we take in is called the viral load. The smaller the load, the less power the virus has to get a hold. So in theory, a mask should help by reducing the viral load we breathe in. A standard surgical mask will stop 95% of virus particles getting through. In practice, masks may not work because people do not wear them correctly or properly. Touching the outside surface of the mask to use and reuse it might get virus on our hands. Other things, like scarves, may be less effective as barriers, but that does not mean they have no value. The final point to consider is that masks may be better at stopping an infected person passing on the virus to others than at stopping someone getting infected. Like I said, opinions are currently divided in different countries. Why is washing hands important? The virus has a coat made of lipid and protein. Lipid belongs to the family of chemicals generally called fats. Soap is very good at dissolving fat. You will have noticed that when washing your hands after handling greasy food. Washing up liquid has the same effect. Dissolving the fat in the coat of the virus effectively destroys the virus. When washing, you must wash all the surfaces of the hands. The skin has lots of corners like the base of the fingers and ridges like the creases in your palms and on fingertips. This is why 3 things are recommended. This video shows how. First, work up a good lather so the soap will spread evenly. Second, rub the lather into each and every area of your hands. Watch these steps and copy each one. Third, give the soap time to act, 20 seconds. Finally, rinse the hands thoroughly. The alternative to soap and water is alcohol in the form of hand sanitizer or surgical spirit. What can I take for COVID symptoms? This presentation is not, I stress not, a substitute for medical advice from a professional. My aim is to explain the science so that you are better informed. In this section, I will talk about the symptoms that occur in mild disease: fever, headache and general aches, and cough. Sometimes people think that because they have a fever, they must get it down, so they reach for paracetamol or other anti-fever drugs. The first thing to say is that you do not have to bring a fever down just because it is up. You should only do so if the fever is bothering you, for example, by making you feel very unwell or causing you a headache bad enough for you to take something. For fever, headache and general aches, the current recommendation is for paracetamol, not ibuprofen. Plain paracetamol is as good as any of the fancy, more expensive preparations that contain unnecessary ingredients, for example, lemon flavour, vitamin C or caffeine. A dry cough is a common symptom of mild Covid-19, but it is also a symptom of more serious disease. If you think you have mild COVID and want to do something for the cough, the best piece of advice is this: do not waste money on expensive preparations. They are no better than following the simple actions. Keep your throat moistened. A dry throat is more irritable. Drinking small amounts frequently, though not more than 2 litres or 4 pints a day, is enough. Coat the throat with soothing liquids like honey, syrup or warm milk, or by sucking lozenges. You can block the cough reflex by taking a medicine containing codeine. a cough suppressant. It can cause constipation and drowsiness. It should not be given to children. And if you have more serious COVID infection, cough suppressants could do more harm than good. If in any doubt, it is safest to seek medical advice before you take cough suppressants. Is it safe to take ibuprofen or anti-inflammatories during the pandemic? The short answer is this: we do not know, but if you are taking it already for a good reason, such as inflammatory arthritis, do not stop. Otherwise, if you need something, take paracetamol. Worries were raised about ibuprofen when a doctor noticed that young patients admitted to intensive care with Covid-19 in France had taken ibuprofen. This raised the suspicion that ibuprofen worsened the disease, but it could be that those patients took ibuprofen because they preferred it over paracetamol. A possible explanation is they took ibuprofen for the fever rather than ibuprofen making the disease worse. It is like the joke Alexei Sayle made when he said, "Diet Cola is rubbish, you only ever see fat people drinking it." Ibuprofen belongs to a group of drugs called anti-inflammatories or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. As the name suggests, they block a part of the inflammatory process which may, and I emphasize may, affect the inflammatory response to the SARS-2 virus. If you are taking anti-inflammatories already for a good reason, do not stop. If you are not and need to take something during a COVID illness, then take paracetamol. What treatments are available for COVID-19? There is as yet no treatment that has been shown to work and to be safe. By shown to work, I mean shortening how long the disease lasts, reducing symptoms, or saving lives. Hospitals offer supportive care for people with more serious disease while the body fights the infection. The point to take home is this: it is dangerous for individuals to start treating themselves with some of the suggestions being floated. Alcohol will definitely not clear the virus from your body. Some say, what is the harm in trying those drugs that have been used in other situations? Well, there is a possible harm. Anti-malarial and anti-rheumatic drugs like hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine can have serious side effects. They can affect the heart and the liver, which are already involved in more serious cases of COVID-19. Antiviral drugs are being tested, but we do not have the results yet. So do not put yourself at risk by chasing unfounded suggestions being made. Stick to the advice given by medical authorities in your country. Thank you for paying attention so far. If you found this presentation useful or interesting, do subscribe to the channel because I will be posting more presentations as information comes in. I would like to give credit to the following people whose resources have been used in this presentation. I'd also like to thank Sevan Horrocks Hopayan, without whose technical assistance this presentation could not have been made.